Welcome to Paradwys Diaries, where it is our 1 year anniversary.
In November 2017, we moved to the beautiful Ynys Môn, the island of Anglesey in northwest Wales, to begin the adventure of developing a 12-acre smallholding and planting a church, all while learning to be parents for the first time. Moving to a tiny rural village called Paradwys, which is Welsh for paradise, our pioneering journey has seen us venture way out of our comfort zone, trying new things, succeeding at some and facing challenges in others. This is our way to share our journey, encourage you with yours, and of course share plenty of inspiring scenery and cute shots of animals and our young family. We are the Radbourne family, and this is Paradwys Diaries.
So yes, welcome to Paradwys Diaries this week, where we are celebrating our 52nd episode. Putting one out each week on a Saturday morning means that we are at our year anniversary, which is quite incredible, really. There was always a little aim in the back of my mind of, I wonder if we can make a year, I wonder if we can track all the way around a calendar year of life here at Paradwys, and we've done it. Here we are. How exciting. And just first of all, I want to start off by thanking you all for journeying along with us, watching us just potter about each week. It's a bit mad that people are enjoying it in the way that they are, and we are really enjoying making it. So just thank you so much for sharing it, for liking it, subscribing to it, and watching it each week. Yeah, so this episode today, we are just going to celebrate a little bit, look back, think about some of the highlights, the lowlights. I'll give you some stats as well from the year, and then we'll look ahead a little bit into what Paradwys Diaries Season 2 might look like. Some of the standout moments from the last year, like we've had a year filled with animals. It was the first year of us getting pigs, and Molly and Percy are little Gloucester Old Spot cross Welsh pigs. That was just amazing. They were so much fun to have around. Quite an experiment having them here. They were so friendly and turned out to be incredibly tasty, which I know some of you are going to go, oh, Alan, come on, you didn't need to say that. But that's their purpose. That was their purpose here, and they had a really good life. And obviously now have been superseded by our 3 little pigs, who now also have names. Big news revealing on our 1 year anniversary. Pip, Irfan and Gwilliam. Pip, Irfan and Gwilliam, which obviously initials spell pig. How nice. But yeah, Pip, Irfan and Gwilliam are settling in really nicely. And they are a lot of fun, but we'll come on more to them a little bit later. And so then, of course, we've had our sheep and lambs over this year as well. So our Llanwenog sheep, there was the first shearing attempt, there was the first lambs, first time they went off to market. They've been just brilliant, keeping the grass down, but a lot of fun as well. And then, of course, our ducks and our chickens, which sadly we lost our ducks at the end of last year. The chickens are still here and laying well, and we have more ducks on the way, and obviously we've got the new chicks as well that hatched out a few weeks ago that will nearly ready to go outside. They're feathering out now. And of course we can't forget the bees. Our bees episode, especially how to keep bees and the honey harvest, were 2 of our most popular videos this year, with John coming into his element, teaching us and being really informative with how to keep bees. So the honey from our bees has been delicious, and we can't wait for our first flow of honey to come again this spring. The bees are really active. John, just last week, split one of the hives because it was doing so well. So we're back up to 3 hives again, and hopefully lots of honey to come in this coming year. And then, of course, there is our fruit and veg that has been unbelievable. We have only just finished the onions from last year. They have done amazing. All of the squashes that came off. The fruit, like the number of strawberries and raspberries and yosterberries. I'm really, really excited about this year again. Like you can see the strawberries are coming up nicely now. The yosterberry is in full leaf, and it's just starting to form some of the berries on the end there. We've also planted this patch of herbs and sunflowers as well. So last year there was a brilliant harvest. Caleb loved picking all the carrots and onions, and those episodes really kind of signalled a certain time. And there was also that beautiful episode where we were picking the apples from the orchard as well to store and to press. And that moment with my dad up the tree, laughing his head off as apples were falling on his head and Caleb was telling him what to do. Yeah, that's one of my highlights from this year. Looking back, it's a really key moment in my memory of Paradwys Diaries this year. Like the 3 generation of Radbourne boys, all with Alan in our name as well. Just kind of that thread, being there, picking the apples, enjoying the land. Yeah, just a beautiful moment, and really glad that because through Paradwys Diaries we've got that on film to remember in the future as well. And then of course throughout this year we've been doing a lot of talking about wood, splitting and drying, and the Norwegian round stack, one of my favourite episodes. In fact, one of your favourite episodes as well, that has the most views on YouTube of all of our episodes, is the Norwegian round stack with 750 odd views, which is amazing. It means that people from kind of outside of our usual viewership are watching it. And so loads about wood, and that will continue, about coppicing and all of that. And then of course about just seeing the land develop throughout the year. Like at the minute you can see the bluebells are out again, and just this beautiful spring brightness coming back in, all the leaves coming back on the trees. But then seeing the land develop throughout the year as different flowers come through, as different grasses come out, as the trees develop. Then of course there was autumn with all the colours that come in that season as well, and then the bleakness of winter, but the beautiful elements of snow that we had this year as well, and Eddie the snowman. Just seeing the land throughout the year and tracking it week by week, you kind of lose some of the subtleties. But as we've reflected back, ready for this episode, just looking back over kind of how it develops and how the seasons impact so much on what we do here on our small holding, it just really makes me, I suppose, proud, but also just aware of the power of nature and how we just work with it rather than try and control it. And it's been great to look back, and I really encourage you, just as we enter into spring, to be aware of all that's around you. Maybe go back and watch some of the old episodes as well, just to see kind of where we've come from as we plot a route forward out of COVID, but also into this new year. And then of course there's our shepherd's hut as well. That is a big part of Paradwys here. It is a way that we can invite people in to come and experience and enjoy the land as well. Like obviously it was closed for much of last year because of COVID, but when we did open it was jam-packed, and again we're open now, and bookings are really filling up quick. And yeah, it's just a great addition to the land. Like John and Keith did an amazing job building it. And obviously it was kind of the site for some of our own holidays as well. So nights as a family up in the shepherd's hut, or as a wider family when we had our week staycation as well. And that episode that was just a lot of fun, just to have all the Caleb's aunties and uncles over from Rachel's side of the family to just hang out here, enjoy Anglesey, this beautiful tourist location that when you live here you often don't do the touristy things, but we just spent a week as tourists and camped up here. We obviously had the bell tent as well that was just brilliant and gave us some vision for what might be one day in the future here as well. But then of course there's been a lot of challenging moments throughout the year as well that we've tried to show you. We've tried to make sure that it's not just, isn't it wonderful, how lucky we are, we're living the good life, we're doing all of that. But we really wanted to kind of show the ups and downs, and there was that period where we just seemed to go from having a land full of animals to having barely any. So losing our ducks was a really sad moment when the fox killed all 4 in one night. That was a difficult moment, and that came around the time that the pigs were going as well. That although I've got to admit it was one of my proudest moments, picking up our pork from the abattoir and like having this produce that we'd poured our love into. We'd made sure that the welfare was high and like it tasted great. It was a proud moment, but it was also a sad moment because like those pigs were part of our family, they were part of our life for sort of 5 months that they were here, and then for them not to be there and the morning routine of going out and feeding the pigs, feeding the ducks, and then suddenly they were both sets were not there anymore. That was a tough moment in a way of the reality of what it is to own a small holding and the sacrifices you've got to make, as well as all of the good fun stuff that we show and that we try and encourage you with as well. And so one of the probably biggest things to come out of all this Paradwys Diaries over this year for me has been me being able to keep a record of a really precious time in our family as we have our 2 young boys, Caleb and Rhys, and seeing them grow up. Obviously Rhys was, what, 2 months old, less than 2 months old when we started Paradwys Diaries. So in the opening credits, he's this like little tiny baby, and watch out next week, there's some new opening credits that will have a slight alteration at the end to kind of show the size difference in the boys now. But there has been a beautiful thing that has come from Paradwys Diaries, because many of our family and close friends just haven't been able to see the boys grow up. Or in fact, like my sister hasn't even met Rhys yet, like hasn't physically been able to give him a cuddle. And as an auntie, I know that really upsets her, but through kind of these weekly videos, she's been able to keep in touch with us as a family and to just kind of see Rhys and Caleb grow, see their personalities grow as well as much wider family and friends that we'd have spent so much time with over the last year, but just haven't been able to see maybe at all, or very little at least. And so it's been a great addition to and benefit of Paradwys Diaries. And you've probably noticed the subtle change from the early days. We're very much around kind of how to build a Norwegian round stack, how to keep sheep, how to keep pigs, those sort of things. But then it's kind of turned more into a lifestyle and more of our family's journey as we've gone on, especially more recently. As we've become more comfortable in like sharing our boys more on camera, because we were very careful at first not to, but then also seeing people's response. Like, let's face it, everyone just wants to see Caleb on screen leading and saying welcome to Paradwys Diaries each week, not me rabbiting on. That's been great just to be able to see that come through, and actually how we as a family have enjoyed making these as well. How I get to have that time with Caleb and increasingly with Rhys, who's desperate to hold the camera at all times, just to have that time with them to develop that and to it's just been great. So thank you for that opportunity to be able to do that, because through you guys watching and following and sharing and commenting and doing all of that, it's just given us the encouragement and the enthusiasm to keep going as well, which has just been a massive blessing to us. So who wants some stats? Do you want some stats? I'm a scientist, I like stats. So YouTube subscribers, 83 to date, which is amazing. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed, and please, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, do that now. Again, it's just a real encouragement, and it just means that you won't miss episodes that come out as well. If you click the little bell in the corner, then it will send you a notification as well each time, so do that. There's been 4,200 views on YouTube. On Facebook, we've had a 17,000 people reach, with 13.3 thousand views on Facebook, and we haven't even been posting all the videos on Facebook throughout the whole thing. It was only halfway through I realised I could post them on both. 17,500 views, and then of course our Instagram and our Twitter as well, especially our Instagram with 300 or so followers on there, which is great. So on Instagram we tend to post more pictures, and they also go up on Facebook and on Twitter, and then of course on YouTube is really where we like to host these episodes, but they are appearing on Facebook as well. So some great stats there. As I've said, the most watched YouTube video has been the Norwegian round stack, with over 750 views. And on Facebook, we had over 1,000 views of our kind of start of the year in January, the best bits of 2020. So over 1,000 views of that as well. And then of course we had those little videos where I went into Countryfile presenter mode. Do you remember those ones with the food waste and the fab farmers, like the nature friendly farming? So they had quite a few hundred views each as well, which is really cool. And I just really enjoyed making those, pretending that I'm Matt Baker and that me and, you know, Ellie are out recording Countryfile. Maybe one day, who knows? But no, it was fantastic to be able to do those as well. And just across this year, I hope that you can see how much we enjoy this and what we enjoy doing. And I hope that you enjoy it too throughout all that we've been able to do this year. So again, just thank you for watching along. Hey guns, you all right? Here are the lambs, look, they're getting big, you see? So, Gonzo, don't butt me again. Do you remember that episode where Gonzo just butted me the whole way through? You're still doing it a bit now, aren't you, Gons? Oh, John's been mowing here, look. Great job. So what can you expect coming up this year? Well, a lot of the stuff we've already outlined already. Our three little pigs, Pip, Irvan and Gwyl. We've got the lambs as well, and this year the lambs, instead of sending them to market, we're going to try and process them ourselves and have some of our own lamb meat, which is exciting as well to see how that tastes and what that's like. We're going to build a woodshed really soon as well. We found that where the Norwegian round stacks are, it's a great system, but actually to be able to cover them over in the winter would be really helpful, and then do a round stack a bit further up. So we're going to try and build that to hopefully help with the winter wood situation a bit more. And then just loads more time just having fun as a family, exploring what it's like on a small holding. I think one of the changes to Paradwys Diaries from the last year is there'll probably be less of a specific, this week we are looking at so-and-so, how to keep pigs, how to trim a sheep's foot, or whatever else. It's going to be a little bit different to that. It's going to be more about our day-to-day and what we get up to, because each week is so varied. There's always different jobs to do. So we're going to try that. And I will say that there might be a few episodes missing in the coming weeks. We have done one a week for the whole year. I will try and keep it going for as long as I can, but equally, instead of kind of doing some more filler style episodes, we just won't always do an episode every week. So they'll be a little bit rarer, but hopefully really high quality, and you'll really enjoy each one of them. So just a warning on that one. But please do like and share and subscribe and do whatever you can to pass on Paradwys Diaries to those who you think might be interested in it, or just to everyone and anyone. Like, this is a great time to be able to do that. Our 1 year anniversary, looking back a little bit over what we've done, setting sail into what I'm calling season 2 of Paradwys Diaries. So please do share it, because it really does encourage us to know that doing this is worthwhile and people are enjoying it and that they want to engage in that. So yeah, I know it is a shameless plug, but please do, because it would really just give us the encouragement to keep going throughout this year. But other than that, thank you so much for joining with us on our first season of Paradwys Diaries, our first year, this our 52nd episode. And onwards and upwards into season 2 as we continue just exploring what smallholding life is like with a young family on our rural piece of Paradwys here at Carreg Dor. Thank you for watching Paradwys Diaries, and I will see you really soon.